swing and a drive, left field. It's deep. It's gone. Yes! And it is gone.
Yes!
It is Bedlam at the bank.
Look at the doctor. Yes, he's got it. Here he comes. Way Dr. made it. His treatment slammed up. And the doctor made a sensational play. It was front the foot. Did he score? After Rose Cutter. Weston fires. Weston scores! He's back again. He's got to be hit and go forward. And he fumbles the football and the able to have it.
We welcome you to the Phillies Sports Hour here on Phillies Sports. Happy June, June 1st, and it's very special today. Today is the Phillies Sports game at the bank. Here's the rally towel for those attending. We'll receive them. Very exciting, so make sure you get down. We'll be in the lots. The lot is posted on Phillies Sports, so you can go check it out there. And helping us with the event today and also on the show to talk some Phils, we got Brett from the Phandemic Krew. Oscar may be joining us a little bit later, but for now we have Brett. Brett, how are we?
Ben, how you doing? Thank you for having me on. Coming live from the Phandemic Krew home studio, the only beer brewed for fans by fans. And I can't get enough of that wonderful stuff. And Ben, I heard you got your license. That sounds like we got about another 5-6 years, and you can have your first Phandemic Brew someday.
There you go. I'm 16 now, so I got a few more years to go. But
you know what? We'll save one for you. All right.
All right. I'll make sure to get it behind section 204.
Now, Ben, you can't see it, but right up over here, I have the rally towel from the last Philly Sports Report game in 301. So hopefully I have a Red October one next to it. I'll take that down and put the new one up to it. But you are represented in the Phillies room. That's what we call this around here. So
there we go. We'll put up the powder blue rally towel.
Yeah, it'll be good. It'll set off. Got a lot of red over in here from all the Red October rally towels.
We'll have some color contrast, and you had some contrast in ballparks. You were in Colorado this week, or I guess last weekend. Now, Phillies, Rockies, rocking the Rangers. How's Coors Field?
Yeah, Coors Field's nice. It's good. It's big. It's spacious. To be honest with you, we got really good seats, so we didn't do as much wandering as I would have wanted to, because we were in a good section. We were right behind the Phillies dugout. I did take a trip up to 301, and we always have to take up to 301 no matter what ballpark we go to, if there is a 301. And actually, that wasn't even the top of the ballpark. There was another section above it, but it really was super cool and super nice. I asked the usher a question about something. I couldn't remember what I asked him about, and he handed me his guidebook, which I have somewhere right here. And when I gave it back to him, he said, just keep it. So I have a Coors Field, visitor's guide, which is kind of cool. I'm a collector first and foremost. So anytime I can, get my hands on something, even though it's Rockies, it's a memento from the game I went to.
So and it's like a little.
I want to know what the Mountain Ranch Club is, or the season suites. I have that at my fingertip now.
There you go. So it's like a little pamphlet they gave you?
Yeah, the Phillies have them too. All the ushers have them. It's kind of like
they just don't hand them out.
Yeah, it's like a search guide. If you want to know where Lost and Found is, or what the ground rules are, or where you can buy hot dogs or whatever, it's all in there.
That's smart. So what number ballpark was this for you?
You know what? I was talking about that with my wife, and I'm not really sure because I've been to some ballparks that don't exist anymore. Like I've been to the old Cleveland stadium, and I've been to the old Baltimore stadium. So growing up, our family vacations, if there was ever a ballpark, we would go to it. As far as current existing ballparks, I believe this is number 12. So My goal is to eventually get to all of them. If I ever win a big enough lottery, I don't have to worry about work. I'm going to try to do that 30 ballparks in 30 days thing. Somebody did it a few years ago, or maybe about a decade ago now. Kind of follow their plans. That'd be pretty awesome.
That's a lot of traveling. 30 ballparks in 30 days.
Yeah.
So your top. Do you have a top 3 list? Excluding Citizens Bank Park. What is your top 3 ballparks that you've been to?
Well, San Diego is really nice. I like San Diego a lot. Everybody is there. It's probably the friendliest staff in all baseball. I know just in Coors Field is good. Of course, Citizens Bank Park's got a lot of great people too, but they also got a lot of grumpy Gusses over there. Petco it was just a great experience. And also, like, I was out there with my wife and a family friend who lives out there. We met up with him, and there was really something for everybody. You know, there was like an area for families where they could sit out there. You can even leave the ballpark and come back. I was talking to the guard, and he said, "Oh yeah, people go across the street to the bar and get a drink and come back over." And you know, so and also it's just so nice there. And they built the ballpark into that Western Supply Company, which is a ticketed area. It's kind of like their Hall of Fame club, I guess. I wasn't able to go into it, but it looked cool. I love Pittsburgh. I just like the way it is. I just like all the little bridges. I like how it funnels down that way. I am a sucker for downtown ballparks like that. Fenway's another one like that. I just like the whole atmosphere of it. I like just how it's all right there. And I mean, I know that you said top three, but be honest with you, that's another one. I've been to both Yankees, old and new, and Shea and Citi Field. So there's two other ones that don't exist anymore. But old Yankee Stadium, you know, we had a couple bars and, you know, places we like to hit beforehand. And, you know, Yankees fans are Yankees fans. They were always cool. Even when we were wearing Philly stuff, they were always fine. You know, nobody ever gave us a hard time.
So, yeah, I mean, I recently went to the new Yankee Stadium last season. I've only been to three. I've been to Yankee. I went to Marlins Park when it was still like the neon colors, and obviously Citizens Bank. Yeah, the statue. It was Yankees Marlins, so it was like a mad scene. It was blinding though, the old colors and too much going on.
You have any trips coming up? You going down to Baltimore? We're going with Philly sports trips. Me and Oscar are running some trips this summer with them, and that's one of them. It's a bus trip.
Yeah, we're trying to do Baltimore. We'll see what happens. It's coming up, so we might have to move quick. But I would love to go to Baltimore. It looks beautiful. Something else that has been pretty cool. Something else that's been pretty cool that you guys have been able to do. You're wearing the shirt, Rangers. They've showed it multiple times on the broadcast. There's been articles written about it. Where did the idea come from?
So there's a Phandemic Krew chat on Facebook. There's about 12 of them. I don't know how I got thrown into so many chats, but there's one main one that has a lot of like the core members in it. And I believe it was Oscar threw it out there like, yo, somebody needs to do this. And we were sort of like, well, why don't we do it? And Beth, if you guys don't know who Beth is one of our regulars. She's the Betty's Triples, which we can talk about later. You know, she's the one behind Betty's Triples. She sent a link. She's like, I bought one. Here's the link. And I bought one, and a couple other people bought them. And then we decided to all come out. And every time, the first two times it was raining very hard. So we're out there in the pouring rain in the spandex and, you know, the signs and the masks and everything.
He is pitching on Saturday, so you might have to teach me the dance.
Right, left, right, up, together. And then
right, left, right.
No, right, left, right, up, left, together.
All right, I'll get it down before the game.
Yeah, we gotta get it a little more solidified. Like, we need somebody yell like Power Rangers Unite or some bull crap. You watch Power Rangers ever, Ben? What do they say? They say anything when they do their thing?
I never watched it. I've probably seen an episode, but when I was a kid, I was not a big Power Rangers watcher.
Yeah, I didn't have that. And Power Rangers came out when I was like a teenager or an adult. I don't even know.
Yeah, it was a little before, but yeah, Rangers pitching on Saturday, and I mean, the guy has been unbelievable this year. He's 9-1, has a 1.75 ERA, which is the best among qualified starters in Major League Baseball. How special has he been? It's been incredible.
Yeah, no, it has been. He's a unique guy, you know. I mean, he's had some rough patches, and there's been some questions about whether to be a starter or a bullpen guy. And when he's given his chances, he makes the best of them, you know. When they need him in the bullpen, he does that. When they need him as a starter, he does that. He's definitely made himself serviceable. He's definitely made himself somebody that can be relied on in, you know, a multitude of situations. You know, and he's he's almost a Gold Glove, you know, pitcher. Maybe this year he will be a Gold Glove pitcher. And, you know, I just love when he's so nonchalant, like when the ball comes back and he sits there and looks at it, then throws it. I said it'd be funny if he took it out and autographed it and then threw it to the pitcher, but I have people would be kind of pissed off about that. But pitchers don't pitch anymore. What are they going to do about it?
He pulls out the pen out of his back pocket, signs the ball, throws it to Bryce. a lot of comparisons with the nonchalantness kind of to Cliff Lee a little bit has been thrown around a lot over the past few years. And this was a big year for Ranger. He's apparently still needed to prove himself, even though he statistically is one of the best postseason pitchers ever. I mean, what more does he have to do this season? Is he a Cy Young winner?
Well, there's a lot of time to be decided on that, to be honest with you. I mean, we have some other guys sitting on that starting lineup that are also contenders. We have pretty much everybody but Walker. Sanchez had his hiccups, even when Turnbull was in there. He was doing well. We have a very good, pitching core going on right now, which is important because that's happened before where we've lacked pitching, but then we have that pitching. When we had, the Roys and the Cliffs and the Cole, and we were supposed to be the best team ever, we had early round exits in the playoffs. So, Cy Young, hey, great. Win the Cy Young. That'd be perfect. I'd love that for him. But, at the end of the day, performance over the course of the season, the postseason is really where it's at. And I think if you talk to Ranger, he would say the same thing. He seems like a team first guy. I think he would say the Cy Young would be nice, but a World Series would be even better.
I think you get that from a lot of these guys on this team. And that starts with Rob Thompson, the cool and collectiveness and the focus on the prize. I mean, the Phillies are off to an incredible start. They're on pace for 115, 116 wins, and they have not looked past that World Series trophy yet.
No. I remember the other day, Rob Thompson said something like, they were talking about the 01 Mariners, and he was like, well, how'd they do? And they were some other, whoever reporter was, said, oh, they won 115 games or whatever. And he goes, yeah, but how'd they do out in the first round? And, basically Rob was like, we don't want to be regular season champions. We're not the Braves. We want to be World Series champions. And I love that mentality about him. I like Rob a lot. Rob Smith's been with the organization for a while. I was going through some autograph cards the other day, kind of just looking through them. And I had a Rob Thompson one signed from like 2018 or so. I mean, he's been here for a while. And Phillies fans are very reactive. And we lose one game and everybody's like, oh, fire Rob Thompson. But what he's doing is working. So, yeah.
He'll put together this random lineup and then they'll score like 12 runs with 20 hits. It's like everything that he does, it's hard to ever doubt him because it seems like all his moves always work, whether they make sense or not. And I mean, from a writer's standpoint, it's kind of hard to write about it.
Yeah, he was talking. I heard an interview with him somewhere. I don't know if it was a podcast or somewhere, and he was saying really his only real piece of memorabilia he has is his Team Canada jacket from the 1984 Olympics. So if you do the math, that's 40 years in baseball. Rob Thompson was never a superstar player. So a lot of times when you're not a superstar player, you kind of hang back and observe the game a little bit more. And he seems to have really internalized and learned from whoever he was under, throughout the years. And we're benefiting from that, now in Philadelphia.
We sure are. And something else that we're benefiting from, you mentioned it, this whole starting rotation and this is one of the best months of May in Phillies history. And you look at this rotation, these are some stats in May. Zach Wheeler, 36 1/3 innings, 2.72 ERA. Aaron Nola, 31 2/3 innings, 2.84 ERA. Ranger Suarez, 31 innings, 2.32 ERA. Christopher Sanchez, 31 innings, 2.03 ERA. And Tyrone Walker, kind of the donkey with the group of horses, whatever the saying is, 26 1/3 innings, 4.78 ERA. But still, 4 of the 5 guys sub 3. It's beautiful to look at.
Yeah, I mean, if you can win 4 out of 5 games, you're looking good. I mean, you think I was a math teacher to figure that out, but that would be a pretty, it'd be a pretty dominating season. As far as Walker is concerned, he let us, what do you have, like 17 wins last year or something? He was close to 20 wins. He might have actually led the team. And wins are kind of like random. You know what I'm saying? Like, they can be random. And he didn't make the postseason roster, and then he was injured. I thought he'd come out with a little more fire. So I'm not really sure what's going on with him. I don't know enough about the team. I mean, I don't know. Hopefully he figures it out. I mean, if he doesn't, I think the Turnbull ship has sailed a little bit. He was kind of in a groove, and by taking him out, put him in the pen, I don't think you could just slide him back in and expect results like that. But yeah, everybody else is doing great. Even Sanchez, who was a little bit down. If you would have, when Walker came back, I was really like, put Sanchez in the bullpen and keep Turnbull in. Because at the time, Sanchez was struggling a little bit. He was having some control issues. He was having some issues giving up runs. But he settled in nicely. So maybe Walker will do the same.
Yeah, maybe, although it's been a little bit for Walker. The thing I've seen with Taiwan is the velocity is nowhere near where it once was. He was throwing upper 90s last year. Now he's mid to low 90s. There's not much movement with him. Just kind of pitches over the plate, and he's getting smashed. But Christopher Sanchez, though, we've seen a completely different Sanchez. I don't love Ruben Amaro Jr.'s commentary, but he did say the other night that he's gone from a thrower to a pitcher, and he has the best ERA in the month of May of all these Phillies pitchers. And you see the names: Zach Wheeler, Aaron Nola, Ranger Suarez, and Christopher Sanchez.
Yeah, I want to talk about Ruben for a second. See, I personally love Ruben because he talks about the game. A lot of people complain about Ruben because he talks too much, but it's literally his job. His job is to literally talk about the game. And I'm a big proponent of people that played the game talking about the game because they give a different perspective. Like, you learn a lot. You know what it is with Ruben? It's his voice. People can't get over the voice. His voice is kind of whiny and nasally. I can get over that, but if like a lot of people complain about him, and then some people can't get over to like Onius GM. We didn't win the World Series. Nobody was complaining when he signed every pitcher. Like, oh, well, we could have third baseman. Yeah, you can't sign everybody. You can't sign everybody. Ruben's good, and Ruben's a good guy in general. Like, if you ever run into Ruben, he'll talk to you. Chat with you. If you want a picture or an autograph, he'll do that. He's a really good guy, man. And I personally really, really like Ruben as an announcer.
I have met Ruben a few times. He's always been nice with me, taking pictures. Some of the things he says is kind of common sense, where your one job is to kind of, as an analyst and a color guy, is kind of describe things that usually wouldn't be picked out. And he does a lot of that, which is where it kind of falls in. But I think he's better than Ben Davis. I don't like Ben Davis.
Yeah, Ben Davis. Yeah, whatever. I don't really know too much about him because, to be honest with you, we're at every home game, so we don't. Like, I was thinking, like, I'd never hear Larry Anderson because we're at all the home games. You
don't get a lot of truck either.
No, exactly. Yeah, we got a lot of Ben Davis and Ruben. Yeah, he's fine. T-Mac's great. We have a good broadcasting core. I appreciate the guys we have.
As a city, we're very lucky. We've got Harry Callis, Merrill Reese, Gene Hart, Mark Zumoff, and still people around. Jim Jackson's great, Tom McCarthy, Scott Fransky. We've been very lucky with broadcasters, and it's not a lot of cities have this.
No, it's true. I watch a lot of like baseball from around the country. There's some good guys. There's some lame ducks. It all depends what the culture is there. As far as like Tampa Bay and like Miami, they don't have that rich baseball history to draw upon for like former players so much. A former Philly, Tommy Hutton, did Tampa Bay forever. And, obviously he never played for the Rays. He played for Phillies in the 70s. You mentioned Gene Hart. So when I was in high school, he was friends with the one history teacher. And he would just like wander into our classroom. And when he came in, you would just be like, oh, we're not doing nothing today. Because Gene Hart and the teacher would just talk the whole time. So my memories of Gene Hart are more him hanging out in our high school, chatting up the teachers and give us a day off from doing work.
When he walked in, did anyone ever yell, "The Flyers win the Stanley Cup"?
No. It's weird when somebody's always around. Like, I also grew up in the town where the Flyers all hung out in the bars, the Broad Street Bullies. I actually bartended at Rex's and worked at Rex's for many years. So, like, we were kind of used to seeing these guys around. Like, Gene Hart, like I said, we were more excited about, like, all right, now we don't got to do any work today because, this was before laptops. So it could be like, doing a puzzle or, whatever. It was just like, oh, we'll just sit here and do nothing.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. I mean, now, of course, nowadays it's kind of more rare to see, players and somewhat celebrities kind of just walking around. They're much more private than they were back in the 70s.
And he's out and about all the time, man. Like, he just did that promposal thing for that kid a few weeks ago. I mean, he literally lives like 2 blocks from like the high school. Somebody told me somebody put on the internet where his house was. I was like, oh, I know where that is. That's like literally like a couple blocks from my parents, and I'm only a couple blocks from them. So they're out and about if they're in your area.
Yeah, Bryce Harper. I mean, that guy's just kind of different. And something else that's different but great is SeatGeek, Brett.
Uh,
SeatGeek is a ticket buying app that makes it so easy to buy your tickets. It's the most efficient way. All you got to do is download the SeatGeek app and use code Phillies Sports Report. You save $20 off your first SeatGeek purchase. Again, PHILLYSPORTSREPORT. Save $20 off your first SeatGeek purchase. And if you were not able to purchase a ticket for the Philly Sports event today, we're pre-recording this episode, by the way. We're recording this on Thursday, so some things might be a little outdated that we get to. But if you weren't able to get a ticket, you can buy it on SeatGeek. Tickets, I'm sure, are still available. And I mean, something you mentioned, Bryce Harper. Kind of a slower. He's kind of cold a little bit right now. His last 7 games, he's 4 for 24, has 1 homer, 5 RBIs, 3 walks, 8 strikeouts, a slash line of 167, 259, 292. It's hard to ever be concerned about Bryce Harper because he's Bryce Harper, but I mean, you saw him go down into the clubhouse during the game on, I guess, Wednesday. Are you kind of looking at this a little bit with a little bit of an
No, not at all, man. To be honest with you, if Bryce Harper's not performing at the plate or the field, he does so many other things for that team, so many other things for the city. And let's be honest, we're winning right now. Let's say Bryce Harper's hot streak for, Bedlam at the bank in the playoffs. I'm not too worried about it. They've been talking recently about migraine issues. And Harper seems like a pretty in tune guy. And if he's suffering from migraines, I have a feeling that he will seek out the remedies and therapies that'll best alleviate that. I don't get migraines at all, but I can imagine it. I can't imagine them being fun or easy to play baseball with. I don't know if that is the problem. But, like I said earlier, you don't want to be too hot all together at the same time. You want to space that out. So right now we'll let, the other guys carry the team. And then Harper will carry it later. But no, he's Bryce Harper. And by the way, the new power ranking just came out today, and he was number 10.
There you go.
So Bryce Harper's number 10 in the power rankings for MLB.
Do you are you a believer in peaking too early?
I mean, I think that all sports and a lot like life in general is like, it's like cyclic like that. So, yeah, you can definitely peak too early. You can definitely get hot in June or July and then kind of cool off come October. And we've seen it with the Braves. We've seen them like be this dominant team, and then it comes to the playoffs and we get them. And I don't want to be the team. I don't want to be this year's Braves. I don't want to be this year's Dodgers. I don't want to be that team that like flames out. When I was, back in the day, back before your time, Ben, with the 93 Phillies, what they did was they went hot early like they're doing now, and they cooled off significantly, but they had built enough of a lead where they were able to ride that wave into the postseason, and then they peaked again. And, I was a senior in high school when that happened. I had big plans. And it really seemed like they were going to win that World Series because they started hot, then they dropped, but maintained just enough, and then went up again. I'm hoping we're going to see it in the 2024 Phillies.
Hopefully this time they can win that World Series. So peaking too early, did the Phillies peak? Or did they already peaked? Or are they going to do like that 93 Phillies again? Like you said, they kind of maintain this. And you also mentioned the Braves, another question. Winning the NL East, you get that week off. You've seen it affect the Braves and the Dodgers. With Acuna and Strider both out for the year, this is the Phillies division to lose at this point. What are your thoughts on that week off? Could it affect the Phillies at all?
Yeah, I'm surprised there wasn't changes on that this offseason because so many teams complained about it. Yeah, I'm not really sure about that. I don't think there's enough to really study. Like most sports, like in football, getting that bye week's good, getting your bodies to rest. I feel like in the past couple of years, our players wore out because they were tired, especially in 2022. We just ran out of gas. That plain and simple. We had to play balls to the wall to get in there, and then we had to keep that going. And like we literally, like even the fans were tired. I just remember just being like so tired at the end of that. And I can't imagine how tired the players must have been with everything going on. That week by, it's relatively new. Like, yeah, it's gone bad, but I don't really there's enough evidence. I think it could be helpful, but it could also be a downturn. You just like everybody talking about like, oh, you haven't beat anybody that's over 500 yet, blah blah blah. You just play what's given to you. You can't control that at all. So you really can't make an excuse. It is what it is. You play the teams you're going to play. You get the buys and the off days. We're going to get a nice little off day section here to then go to London. Play 2 games and come back home and go to Boston and then Baltimore. So it's like. I don't really think there's enough really into it. I think that was just some excuses. And, we'll use the same excuse. The Phillies do the same thing this year. Like, that week off, man. You know how Phillies fans are.
Yeah, but my thing with the week off, it's affected National League teams. But you look at the Astros in 2022, they won the World Series with the week off. So, I mean, it's kind of tough to look at it because AL teams have had success with it, NL teams haven't. Something else that the Phillies haven't had success with over the last week, they went out west. It was not a good road trip. They went 2-4 on the trip. They scored only 6 runs in those 4 losses. So this offense is slow right now. Can you look at it and say, hey, this team's been so good, it's hard to worry. And June is, we're here in June. Are you kind of like, this could lead to something?
Nah, losses are losses. They're going to happen. I mean, if you look at it, we've already played the Giants in Colorado at home, and it was a different result. We played Colorado. Yeah, we played them earlier. Yeah, because I remember Ellie Hoos, or whatever his name is, being like, how do I pronounce his name? We played them at home with a totally different result. So it seems like we're a very hot home team. Things happen on the road. It's what it is. Like, it's anything with baseball. Even the best teams, even the best records ever lose 65 games or so. Losses are going to happen. We don't need to doomsday and like, oh my God, we lost 4 games. We're done. That's just bandwagon bullshit, to be honest with you. That's just fair weather fans that do that bullshit. They haven't been to the ringer yet. They're new fans. They don't know how it works yet.
Yeah, the Phillies, the best team in baseball. Let's jump on the bandwagon really quick. Bryson Stott is someone I do want to look at. Got off to a really bad start to the season, then was on this crazy heater, and now has kind of cooled down a little bit. In his last 7, he's 3 for 26 with a slash line of 115, 148, 115. In that stretch, though, he's only struck out 4 times. I find him getting under the ball a lot, which isn't usually him, but kind of a weird occurrence.
Yeah, Ben, as far as that's concerned, like I said, there's ups and downs. I remember Boom was like red hot for a while, and then he kind of cooled off slightly a little bit. Let's be honest. Stott, we love Stott. Stott's great, but he's never gonna be an MVP. He's gonna be a guy. He's gonna be but you need those guys. Those are the guys that win you World Series. Everybody has their stars. So if Stott's down right now, whatever, man, he'll be back up again.
And another good thing, not great, but he's young and he's going to go through these kind of hot streaks and slow streaks. And that's what develops a great player. And we're seeing a developing great player right now with Bryson Stott. A lot of people look at him kind of like Chase Utley. Do you see that at all?
Nah, not really, to be honest with you. I see him as his own. I've never made that connection with him. Stott's serviceable, man. Stott's great, man. I know I've never made that connection that way.
The connection you can make, though, that would be a very good connection, is FOCO. FOCO, real fans need the best gear, and that's why FOCO makes legendary gear for the most legendary fans. Click on the link in the description or the bio to save 10% off any order at FOCO. FOCO's the best. Do you have any FOCO, Brett?
Do I have any FOCO? I got 2 FOCO bobbleheads of me. I got one right out of arm reach over here. I got Christmas ornaments, shirts. Yeah, in fact, use your 10% discount off the Ben's code and buy yourself a Phandemic Krew green sweatshirt. T-shirt. Still available on FOCO.com.
They still have the bobbleheads?
They are all sold out. I think
I got both of them.
I get the air horn ornament too. I'm not sure.
There you go. We have the order. We have the throat. Go ahead.
7C. It's almost time for Schwarberfest. Come on, man.
It is. It is June 1st when this goes live, and you mentioned the you did mention the air horn. Throwing it back a little bit with the air horn in their thumbnail today.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. You need to find a new picture, man.
That was what came up on Google.
Well,
you guys need some new pictures.
Been around us for 4 years. I'm sure you have a better picture than that.
I probably do.
Maybe you can pull pictures from.
We're coming to the end of our show here. Kind of a little bit of a quicker one. We both got to go. West Coast struggle. It's been a thing with the Phillies every year. People were saying this team is different. Now they kind of do the same thing that the Phillies have done every year. But they did win in San Francisco for the first time in 3 years. Are you looking at this with any concern, or are you moving on?
How do we do in San Diego? I forget.
Or San Francisco, we won. I meant to say San Diego, we swept. We swept in San Diego.
Let me remember. That's on the West Coast, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it's one road trip. It's fine, man. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, I'm just telling you what the fans are saying.
Yeah, I don't listen to them too much because if you go on Twitter, they're like, "Oh my God, Harper struck out, trade him." Phillies fans are way too reactive. They want to one loss and they're ready to bail. It's fine.
That's Phillies Twitter for you. Final thing, which is not directly correlated with the Phillies, but something big in baseball that came out this week is that Negro League stats have officially been added to the MLB database. This is something that's been going on for years, but it's finally happening. Josh Gibson now leads batting average, slugging percentage, and OPS. This is great for baseball, and it's really cool that they've been able to study this and come out with this, and I think it's very cool.
Yeah, no. I listen. I love the fact that they recognize that league. There was actually 4 incarnations of that league. I really like the fact that they honor them. I like the fact that the players are in the Hall of Fame. The only thing I'd say about the stats is I was at a seminar over the winter, and the guy who started Baseball Reference, part of the seminar, he was talking about how they were putting the stats on Baseball Reference. And one of the things he said was sometimes the stats they had to pull from newspapers from the era. So I just don't know how accurate the stats are. And, I don't know enough about it. But listen, anytime you can bring in people that were excluded and bring them into the conversation, in the picture, it's good. I see a lot of people, again, people are reactive, oh, they just got my little league stats and this and that. But it's not the same thing. These are players that were major league caliber. Just as long as the stats are accurate, because like I said, I'm getting conflicting reports on, I've also heard that one of the leagues barnstorm, which means they played the local, bar team, so you don't know how accurate it is. I would have, if I ever got a time machine, one of the first things I would do was go back and integrate baseball a lot earlier. Because imagine seeing Satchel Paige and Josh Gibson and all these guys in their primes play against the best players of that era. I mean, that was already a very good era of baseball, man. Imagine if everybody was included. That'd be fantastic. And the Hispanic players, any other players that were excluded then. Anytime you have the best of the best together, that's beneficial to everybody. To the league, to the game, to the fans, to the players, to the teams, to everybody, to the marketers, to everything.
It sure is, and it's very cool that they've been able to dig these up. And you said not exactly, may not be perfect, but I mean, it's cool that they've been able to even do the research and get all this done. And there was a team in Philadelphia. It was the Stars, right?
Yeah, there was actually a big team down in Atlantic City, too. There was a very popular team down in Atlantic City, too. They weren't in the main league, though. So they were in a secondary league. But actually, if you go to Camden County College in Cherry Hill, New Jersey, I think it's still there. I think it's there through the middle of June. They have a whole exhibit on the I think it's called Black Baseball in Philadelphia area or something like that. I forget exactly what it's called, but that's actually what Oscar and Maggie and I went to. It was the little kickoff, and they had Bill Thompson was there, the Baseball Reference guy, a couple local baseball historians. The one lady, I can't remember her name. She wrote a book all about the guy who owned the Stars. And, he seemed like quite a character. He seemed like somebody that was a great promoter, but there's a lot to be learned about the local teams and the local, players that were unfortunately excluded.
Yeah, they won a championship, right? 1930 something. I thought I saw like 34. Maybe they won.
Yeah,
the year.
Not sure the year. Yeah, they weren't like the premier team, but they're kind of like the Phillies. They won one. We won
There you
two.
go.
We weren't the Yankees. We weren't the
No.
took them A's or anything. We're the Stars.
Yeah, it took the Phillies 97 years to win their first World Series, but they got it.
Yeah, so no, it's if you're in the South Jersey area, you can look it up. It's at the Camden County Roar campus in Cherry Hill. Can't remember what it's called though, but they have a great collection. Some local lady collected autographs from like almost every major African American player from that era, and has it all like this one bat. It's really cool. That alone, but that also has like the local players and the stories and the teams and all that stuff.
I haven't been up in the Hall of Fame club yet this year, but I thought I saw something that they added, like some Negro League history and some other like players that come from. So what have you seen it this year?
Yeah,
what is it?
I have a video of it. I'll send you it later.
Okay.
Yeah, it just basically has a little bit of like history and like like some stuff about Dick Allen and some of the other pioneer African American players in the Phillies. But the Phillies did a great job of making sure they put it where the public can't access it. Put it somewhere accessible, Phillies, because I know you're watching. Get it out of the Hall of Fame club. Normal people can't see it.
Yeah, get that all that fun. They need to make like a Yankee Stadium. They have like a museum in the back corner of the team. Phillies need something like that.
Well, they do, but you have to buy a Hall of Fame club ticket to go see it. Like it shouldn't be exclusive. It shouldn't be like an exclusive thing. It should be accessible to all the fans, especially if you're trying to grow the sport and you're trying to bring in different backgrounds. Because right now, African American participation in baseball is at an all-time low. Maybe when they come to the kids come to the game, and they see the players like them, they might be more interested in, because right now basketball and football's kicking our ass in that.
And MLS is on the up as well, and you got to thank Messi for all of that with the MLS.
Yeah, but no, I'll send you. I took I did a video of I'll send it to you. I got some stills too. If you want to edit them into there, you can.
I can throw them in. All right, so that's all we got for this Philly Sports Hour. Brett, thank you very much for coming on. Where can people find the Phandemic Krew online and in the ballpark?
Well, the Phandemickrew.com is a good online spot. We also have all the socials, Twitter and all the big ones, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. And we're always up in 301. We're up in the last row. Don't be scared to come up, man. We all came up by ourselves at one point. This whole thing just started by people going to baseball by themselves and wanting to go with other people. So we're always there. We're doing some stuff with Philly sports trips. So if you have any interest in going to Boston, sold out. So if you want to go to Baltimore, Chicago, which are 4th of July, or Pittsburgh, phillysportstrip.com, and you can check it out. They have, travel packages and all that stuff.
So great stuff coming up with you guys. And of course, this is live on June 1st, which if you're heading to the games Saturday night or still want to go, get one of these rally towels with Philly Sports Reports. Be up in 301. You can meet Brett and I. So it's very exciting stuff. Brett, thank you again for coming on. That's going to do it for us. If you ever miss a live Philly Sports Hour, you can watch it on YouTube or listen on any podcast app. Also follow on all social media. Thank you to SeatGeek and FOCO for sponsoring. Brett, I'll see you tonight. Thank you, everybody, for watching and listening. We'll see you next week on the Philly Sports Hour.
Swing and a drive, left field. It's deep. It's gone. And it is gone. Yes. It is bedlam at the bank.
Look at the doctor. Yes, he's got it. Here he comes. Way Doctor made it. His Cleveland slammed up. And the doctor made a sensational play. Through in front. The foot. Did he score? Mr. Rose got it. Left center. Fires. Black and gold. again. He steps up his head and goes forward. And he fumbles the